Good evening, everyone. You're watching the Just Keep Up podcast where we're one step ahead. I'm your host, Kurt Johnson. This is our co host, Pete Zindros. We're excited to be back to you guys on Wednesday morning. Big show, lots to talk about, lots to get into. Um, I know you guys are aware now, but Wednesdays are going to go a little differently. So, Wednesdays were our politics show where we were going to discuss what's going on in the real world, what's going on with the election, etc. But we turned this channel over to strictly sports guys. So, we're going to be covering the rest of the games we didn't get to last week, and then we're going to be covering the Monday night game. And then our feature story tonight, guys, as you know, is breaking news. Yesterday, Robert Salah, head coach of the New York Jets in the National Football League, has been fired. And he was escorted out of the building by security. They didn't allow Robert Salah to address the team. They didn't allow Robert Salah to even grab his things. They're going to be mailed to him. So that's going to be our featured story, guys. We also have a big Rumble announcement at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a shorter show, guys, because we're going to hop on over to Rumble in about 20 to 30 minutes. But that'll be later on. I just want to remind you guys, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Get us to impact and to reach as many people as possible. But other than that, guys, it's going to be a big show. I'm now going to turn it over to my co-host, Pete Zindros. He's going to kick us off.
Okay, our first topic of the day, the 49ers-Cardinals game from Sunday afternoon. The Cardinals pulled it off 24-23. Both teams moved to 2-3, and the game ended with Brock Purdy throwing an interception while being hit.
Yep. So, as we know, the 49ers are in a little bit of trouble. They have injured guys. They're 2-3. But, just like I said for everyone else is around the same. Everyone else is 3-2 or 2-3. That's where most of the league is. And so it's not panic time for anyone yet, but it's regroup time where you have to regroup and revalue your team and figure out ways you can get better. But I definitely trust Kyle Shanahan to figure it out and keep them afloat until McCaffrey gets back, until they get the rest of their guys, and then they'll make a run towards the end of the year. And then as far as the Cardinals, I think they're definitely better than a lot of people thought they would be the start of the year. Kyler Murray looks better than probably the best since 2021. I want to say this is the best that he's looked. And mind you, it's not great, but it's definitely better than, how he's been playing. So, good for him. He's still a starting caliber quarterback, it looks like. So when a couple years ago or even last year, we all don't know if that was the case. Good for him. Good for them. I don't know if the Cardinals will make the playoffs, but they'll definitely be in the hunt. They're a solid team. But the Niners, I thoroughly expect to get together and get this thing turned around within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think the 49ers are going to turn it around. They still have to get their squad back, but they'll 100% be in the playoffs, and they are still my favorite to win the Super Bowl this year. They're 2-3. Realistically, we know 2-3 is nothing in the NFL. The only teams right now that are far ahead from everyone else is pretty much the Chiefs and the Vikings. The Chiefs are now 6-0. The Vikings are 5-0. So those are really the only teams far ahead. Everyone else is 3-2, 2-3. 2-3 is nothing in this league. The 49ers will be perfectly fine. Then as far as the Cardinals go, they're better than everyone expected, but I think they're better than everyone expected because of how good Marvin Harrison Jr. is. The guy was the greatest wide receiver prospect of all time, and clearly his impact has been immediate for this team. And Kyler, ever since the best year he had, which was his second season, I believe, in 2021. It was that season with D-Hop. This is probably the best he's played since then. Don't get me wrong, this isn't elite quarterback play or nothing like that, but they're at least getting enough to be on the hunt, which I think they will be all year. But it is a really tough division. You got the Seahawks, the 49ers, and then the Rams too, who aren't even healthy. Once they get Cup and the Cool back, that's a team you got to look out for.
Yep, and then there's only two undefeated teams left, so it's just the Chiefs at 5-0, and then
The Vikings.
the Vikings at 5-0.
Yeah, everyone else is like 2-3, 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that covers that game, and now our Sunday night game, the Cowboys and the Steelers. The Cowboys won 20-17. Dak Prescott did throw the game-winning touchdown with about 30 seconds to go, but he did also have 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and those, I think all interceptions are not created equal. There's some interceptions that you could say, I see what he was thinking, and then another interception where it's like, what are you doing? And the one that he threw to CD, it was just like, what are you doing? It was double covered. It just wasn't there the whole time. So it's just like, bro, like, what are you doing? Those interceptions are deflating. Now, luckily for them, they got their act together and they had, he threw the game-winning touchdown, which I'm always going to commend a quarterback for doing is, no matter how the game looks, it matters about how you finish. And he definitely finished. So that's impressive. But, obviously the Cowboys don't look great. It's always good to win with your best player being out. And so, they got the job done. So I'm not going to sit here and shit on the Cowboys like everyone else is doing. I thought, mistakes are going to happen during the game. It's about how you finish. And they finished strong and they got the job done. And then as far as the Steelers, they're still going back and forth about who they want to play at quarterback. Justin Fields has played good enough to keep the job, but not good enough to secure the job, completely. They're kind of going from a week-to-week basis, but he hasn't played bad enough to lose the job yet. And so that's where they're at now. The Steelers they're always going to be great defensively under Mike Tomlin. We have to commend him. He's probably one of the greatest coaches in all of sports, not just football, probably in all of sports. He's never had, the one thing you could say is, with the 3 killer bees, why wasn't he successful or whatever? But, guys, you also got to realize, like, a lot of being a coach, it's talent, but it's also putting those, meshing a lot of those personalities together. Like, you had Le'Veon Bell, you had, now Antonio Brown, we knew was a head case from the start. So, meshing all those personalities together is hard. But other than that, he's had mediocre to bad teams, and he's led them to over 500 records. I don't think he's had a losing season.
Never.
Ever.
The worst he's gone is 8-8 ever. So he's never had a season below 500.
Yeah, so that's pretty amazing what he's going to do. So I don't expect the Steelers to do anything less than that. I expect them to be feisty and be right in the hunt, but they're not going to make that jump to be one of the contenders. And then as far as especially if they make the move for Russell Wilson and start him, they're definitely not making that. And then with the Cowboys, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs, dude. But we're not judging the Cowboys off the playoffs. We're judging them off of what they could do in the postseason. Or the same thing for Dak. Like, we're not judging Dak off the regular season. We're judging Dak off the preseason. So, they'll be good enough to make it into the playoffs. But the way they've been playing, it's going to be more of the same, bro. 1 round exit. That's my take.
Okay, so as far as this game goes, yeah, credit to Dak. He did lead the game-winning touchdown. He didn't have the best game. Once again, is anybody shocked? He didn't have the greatest game. He threw 2 interceptions. If I'm being honest, the only reason why this game was probably a win was because the Steelers are just so bad offensively. And I don't blame Justin Fields for that. Like, bro, their number 1 receiver is George Pickens, bro.
Yeah, and he's a head case. He's a head case. You saw what he did at the end of the game where he ripped that dude's face mask. It's like, bro, what do you, it's just like stupid things. Like, he's probably going to get suspended and fined.
Bro, did you see that thing that he had on his nose too? Like, the black ink that they put on their faces?
Yeah.
On that, I think it said, nobody can effing guard me. Like, it said something like that. And it's like, dude, you're George Pickens, bro. Like, you're not even that freaking good, bro. Like, bro, you're this team's number 1 option, and you have never even gotten 1,000 yards in a season. Like, who are you to be saying stuff like this, bro? Like, you are not that good, bro. I'm going to be real, bro. And I know the Steelers are already on it. They need Devontae Adams. If they get Devontae Adams, I think this team could make a major league because their problems are clearly offensively. They don't have a number 1 guy. I think Justin Fields is a good quarterback, and I think he has done enough to secure the job because I think as far as their offense goes, I mean, he can't really do much more with it. I mean, only an elite quarterback could really like elevate it. And
Right.
you know, there's not many elite quarterbacks in the game, but he's a good quarterback, and he's done his job game managing for the offense. Like, he's not throwing picks or nothing. You know, their defense has mainly been carrying them. So I think if they get Devontae, that'll really elevate this offense a lot. And I know damn well they're not going to start Russell Wilson trash ass over him. Like, nah,
No.
that's not happening. So I think he secured the job. The Steelers need Devontae. And as far as Mike Tomlin goes, yeah, I mean, the guy's just legendary, man. I mean, he's probably the second greatest defensive mind in football ever, behind Bill Belichick. The guy's just flat out insane. He never had a season below 500. As far as why he never did anything with, with that Ben Le'Veon AB squad, well, clearly, like Kurt said, it was like a personality thing. Also, like, you had Antonio Clown. I mean, Le'Veon Bell had an ego. Big Ben had an ego. Like, bro, the reason why AB left was because him and Big Ben were arguing. And on top of that, Mike Tomlin also is a defensive coach, and these were offensive things they were going through. So I'm not gonna be the one to say it's Mike Tomlin's fault that they couldn't win a Super Bowl during that era. But
I mean, Le'Veon Bell quit the league to become a rapper. Like, so, bro, if that doesn't tell you, bro, something was off, bro.
Right, and Antonio Clown was complaining about helmets on the Raiders, and then he went to the Patriots. He was arguing with Robert Kraft, and then when he went down to the Bucks, he was trying to say that he slept with his quarterback's wife.
Yeah,
Like,
he took off his jersey during the game and was waving goodbye to the crowd. Like, bro.
Right, and then Big Ben had an ego. We know the stuff he did off the field. I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
he was into some freak nasty stuff, bro.
Yeah,
so it's bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah. Mike Tomlin, at the end of the day, legendary coach. This is my full take on the Cowboys and the Steelers.
Yeah.
Okay, now to get into our Monday night game. The Chiefs versus the Saints. The Chiefs won 26-13. They're now 6-0. Juju Smith-Schuster had 130 yards.
5-0.
And Kareem Hunt had 102 rushing yards and a touchdown. So what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, bro. So, the Chiefs, they find ways to win, bro. So, I mean, they just continue to just find ways to win. I mean, it doesn't matter who they play. It doesn't matter who's out. It doesn't matter, Rashee Rice is out. Travis Kelce's not playing well. Isaiah Pacheco's out. Let's add in Juju Smith-Schuster, who's washed. Oh, he has 100 yards receiving. Oh, let's add in Kareem Hunt, who's washed. Oh, he has 100 yards on the ground. So, bro, they just figure out ways to win. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Andy Reid's one of the greatest minds of all time. The Chiefs aren't winning these games because of Patrick Mahomes. They're winning these games because of Andy Reid. And, if Patrick Mahomes was on any other team, he would not be 5-0. It's the reason why is because of Andy Reid. But this is why you need the perfect situation and everything. When we talk about, who's the GOAT or who's the greatest of all time, it takes everything. It's not just that one player. It takes teammates. It takes a perfect coach. It takes a perfect situation. It takes everything. And right now, the three-man combo between Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and Andy Reid is allowing them to win these games. And you can also add in Chris Jones because, I mean, there's a lot of times, that Chris Jones has won, I think, 2 Super Bowls for them at this point, where it's like a third down, a fourth down, when they're, the Bengals are driving. Who makes the big play in the Super Bowl? It's Chris Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He always finds a way to wreck the last play of the game. So, they're a great team. They're just a great team. Led by their head coach and their captains on offense and defense. And then as far as the Saints, I kind of feel bad. They got out to that toward hot start. And then after that, it's just been bad, which, I mean, we imagined, we expected it. And then to make matters worse, Derek Carr is probably going to be out for the next couple of weeks. So they're spiraling fast. And unfortunately, I think that's going to be a telltale of their season.
Okay, well, as far as the Chiefs go, I mean, what quarterback has ever had 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 3 dropped interceptions in a year, and they're 6-0? Like, this is just flat out insane. Like, bro, you literally have bums coming in here, Juju Smith-Schuster and Kareem Hunt, who are washed, and they're dominating. Like, clearly, it's an Andy Reid thing. Yeah, bro. I mean, the guy literally has the most perfect situation in the world, bro. Like he's not even playing good, and they're 6-0. Like it's just ridiculous.
Just to
And
clarify, they're 5-0. 5-0.
oh, they're 5-0.
Yeah,
Oh,
5-0.
okay, okay. My bad,
Yeah.
my bad. Yeah, 5-0. But yeah, bro. Regardless, they're undefeated, and yeah, shit's just crazy. Then as far as the Saints go, yeah, I mean, we all saw their fall off coming. We knew that they weren't gonna keep that up, but you know, it sucks that Derek Carr just went down. Their playoff hopes are probably dead now. They at least had a chance before that. Yeah, sucks for them. That's all I have to say for both ends.
Yeah, and that kind of lessens their chances that they're going to get Devontae Adams in the next couple weeks now that Derek Carr's hurt. So it was just the L all the way around for the Saints, man. But yeah, guys, we're going to move on. We're going to get into our featured story, which is a big story, big news. Robert Salah has been fired from the New York Jets. Like I talked about earlier, guys, he wasn't aware of this. They played, as you guys know, they played in London for that Sunday game. Monday they had off. Tuesday they go in the building, business as usual. He clocks in. You know, he's going over with his staff and his team on, you know, the game plan for the Monday night game against the Bills. And then Woody Johnson calls him in the office and just says, you know, you're terminated effective immediately. And they escorted him out with the team security. And they didn't even allow him to grab the stuff from his office. They didn't allow him to address the team one last time. Nothing. It was just like, get out, you're done, we're moving on. Yeah, and then another thing from that is they are going to promote their defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich. He's going to step in and be the interim head coach. So what's your take on that featured story?
Robert Salah being fired is the reason why the New York Jets will never win anything. This franchise does not do anything right. The one time they did something right, which was sign Aaron Rodgers, they're even going to manage to fuck this up somehow in some way. Like, bro, I mean, it's not like the team was doing terrible. They're just 2-3. I mean, they have to realize the quarterback they committed to is 40 years old, coming off of a torn Achilles. And mind you, bro, if their struggles come from anywhere, it's offensively. And mind you, Robert Saleh is a defensive-minded coach. Their defense has been just fine. If there's any coach you want to point at towards the offense, it's Nathaniel Hackett. Even though I don't blame him for all of the Jets' struggles, but if there's anyone you wanted to fire, it should have been him, not Robert Saleh. I will say this, though, Jets. Listen to me, Jets front office, all of you idiots in there. The only way you guys will be able to get away with the Robert Saleh firing is if you do this one thing. Call up Bill Belichick. Call him up right now. If you guys do not do that, this firing was for nothing and you guys will never win anything.
Okay. See, so you think they should make the move for Bill Belichick?
I think they should, yeah. I mean, bro, think about it, bro. I mean, if they already had a defensive-minded coach, the defense was doing just fine, and you know, they're not even like off to the worst start. They're 2-3. They could still come back from it. What other reason would there to be than to fire him for hiring the GOAT coach who's available right now? So if they hire Bill Belichick, they'll get away with it. If they don't hire Bill Belichick, they're not getting away with it. Even if they get Devontae Adams, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if they'll be able to get away with their defensive coordinator as their interim head coach. Like, I really don't know, bro. If they hire Belichick, though, I think it'll work out. The reason why Bill Belichick did not work out on the Patriots the last couple years, it wasn't a coaching issue. They just gave him too much control. Like, his decisions in the office were really bad. Like, they just basically put the whole organization in his hands, and that's where he fucked up. He's not a GM. He's a head coach. So if the Jets hire him and tell him, listen, you're going to be the head coach. We're not giving you no roles in the office, none of that. You're just going to simply coach the team. And if he does that, the Jets could do something amazing, especially if they get Devontae Adams within these next few days as well. They will be really good. But if they do not do that, then the Salah firing was for nothing.
Yeah, so I personally think it was just an L, bro. It was just an L. I tried to make it make sense. I tried to use every single analogy, and none of it made sense. The first thing I tried to rationalize in my head is Well, maybe Woody Johnson, he said that he felt the season was slipping away, so he needed to do something. How is the season slipping away when on Monday night you're preparing to be the number one seed? Whoever won that game against Buffalo is going to be the number one seed in their conference, in their division. So how is the season slipping away? Don't know. Second thing, you basically fired Robert Salah. The offense is clearly struggling. Maybe you say, my initial reaction was they've got to make Nathaniel Hackett the head coach. Now, I thought that they shouldn't do that, but that's the only logical reasoning for firing a defensive coach. You maybe would think maybe they need an offensive coach. Maybe we need to toss him in. No, we're going to trade Robert Saleh, defensive coach, for Jeff Ulbrich, defensive coach. So what is that going to do? That and then on top of it, Jeff Ulbrich doesn't know anything about the offense. At least Robert Saleh knows a little bit from being a head coach for a couple years. Ulbrich knows nothing about being a head coach. So, and you're taking away from the defense because now Jeff Ulbrich has to focus on the offense. So you wanted your offense to be better. So doing that, you took away from your defense. Mind you, the person that you're taking away from the defense knows nothing about the offense. So it just doesn't make sense at all. Woody Johnson's excuse trying to say that he thought the season was slipping away doesn't make any sense. You're 5 games in with a quarterback who just tore his Achilles. You're 5 games in. You're 7 days away from playing to be number one seed in your division. So that doesn't make any sense. The team is not slipping away. Now, the only excuse that I could give them is, the only rational thing is that they already have had their gripe with Salah and they were looking for a reason to fire him. They were looking for a reason to fire him from the jump. But my thing then becomes, well, if you're going to do that in the offseason. Don't do that 5 games into the season when you're going to, you have a chance to play in a week to be number one in your division. It doesn't make sense. It's going to cause a lot of rift and division in the locker room. The defensive guys, they loved Coach Salah. There was no hairiness between Rodgers and Salah. Salah doesn't control the offense. Yes, he does have the final say, but it's not like he's calling plays. So there was absolutely no reason to fire Salah. The only logical explanation is they had a gripe with him from the previous years, and they were looking for a reason to fire him. No team in NFL history had switched coaches during the season and made the playoffs. I'll say that again. There's not one team in NFL history that switched coaches mid-season and made the postseason. So for Woody Johnson to say that he's looking for a spark so that they could make the postseason literally goes against all of human history. So it doesn't make sense at all. It was very clear this was an irrational decision. It was a decision made from emotion because Jets fans are frustrated that the season isn't going how they planned. But I got a couple words for you guys. Freaking-lax. Relax, bro. You're 5 games into the season. Most teams are 3-2 or 2-3 right now. There was absolutely no need to overreact like this. Like, bro, if the Jets were winless, if they were 0-4, 0-5, then you could say, okay, this is clearly not working. But they're going to play on Monday against Buffalo, and the winner of that game is going to be the number 1 seed in their division. So, this was an overreaction. And then on top of it being an overreaction, it was just stupid because you're taking away your head coach to replace it. You're replacing your defensive head coach, and you're replacing him with the defensive head coach. So that solves nothing. You're also taking away from the defense now because Jeff Ulbrich has to focus on the offense. So you're taking away from your defense, which was already good, and you're taking it away for someone who knows nothing about the offense. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, you're going to leave Nathaniel Hackett there. So, like I said, I personally don't think the problem is Hackett or Rodgers. I think it's chemistry. I think when you're an older quarterback, that's why Tom Brady went out and he got Gronkowski, and he wanted to get Antonio Brown and all these things because chemistry matters for older quarterbacks. They tend to want to work with older people because they're not as talented, but they have chemistry. They know how the game should feel. They could see what the game is from the quarterback's eyes, which Garrett Wilson can't right now because he's still young. And so that's their real issue is they have an older quarterback with younger players and they can't see the game for what it is just yet. That's their biggest issue. And so getting Devontae Adams solves all of your issues. So, but yeah, anyway, so one more just big L for the Jets. Like it was just an L all the way around. The move just doesn't make sense for all parties. And I disagree with your take on them getting Bill Belichick because again, the defense is not the issue. Bill Belichick was never known to be this offensive genius. We all know he's known to be a defensive genius, which he is a genius. But the defense isn't the issue. It's the offense. And so you have to do something with the offense. The only thing that you're going to do, you're not going to fire Hackett because he's close with Rodgers. And, Rodgers had his best year with Hackett. So you're not going to fire Hackett. The obvious and clear answer is get Devontae Adams. So it was just all the way around, bro.
Okay. Well, I just got one more thing to say before we close up the show from this take. So no team in NFL history has ever made the playoffs after firing their head coach mid-season. Yep. So if history is not on your side, you got to make it be on your side. So this is why I'm saying hire Bill Belichick so you can make history. You know how much of a story it would be if they were to hire Bill Belichick and get Devontae Adams, and then they go on and win the Super Bowl, for example. Like, not only would that be huge for Bill Belichick, but also the Jets as well. And also, as far as their 2 and 3 start goes, they're overreacting, bro. They have to realize not everybody is the Kansas City Chiefs. Not everybody is the Brady Belichick New England Patriots, where they're gonna get off the 4-1, 5-0 starts, and we know that they're Super Bowl bound, like regardless of how they get that start, bro. Most teams in the NFL start off slow. Everybody usually starts off 3-2, 2-3.
It's about how you finish.
That's exactly what I'm saying. And this is why the Jets never do anything right, because they don't know football. They don't know how the game freaking works. And they just fired their head coach for no reason, when literally his side of the ball wasn't even the issue as well. So this is why I'm saying if they're firing him, at least get Bill Belichick. He's the greatest defensive genius ever, so their defense could only be even better under Belichick. And on top of that, like, even though Belichick's not, like, that great offensively, he has an idea about that side of the field at least, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, their interim head coach doesn't know anything, bro. So basically, it's just 2 coordinators coaching the team. That's really all it is. Like, it's not going to work out that way. That's why they need Bill Belichick. Get him in there. He's going to help both sides of the ball immediately, just like that. So that's why I'm saying get Bill Belichick. Get Devontae Adams and try and work your way out of this shithole, man. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, all right, guys. Yeah, so that was our feature story, guys. It was a big show. We talked about the Niners, Cardinals, Cowboys, Steelers, Chiefs, Saints, and then we went over our featured story, which was Robert Salah fired. But yeah, I want to move on. I want to get into our big announcement, guys. Right after this, we are going to be going over to Rumble. This is going to be our first ever Rumble exclusive stream. Okay, guys. So follow us. Go over there. It's rumble.com. Make an account. Go to Just Keep Up Podcast and follow us there. And then we're gonna be on there, guys. We're gonna give the raw, uncensored, unfiltered truth about everything, guys. And just to let you know, guys, like, Rumble is very similar to YouTube in a lot of ways. With an addition to that, guys, like the Tates are on there, Donald Trump is on there, Sneako's up there, Fresh and Fit's up there. I can't say his last name, but Nick is up there.
Really? You can't say his last name?
Yeah, you can't say his name on YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah, you can't say his name on YouTube.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro. He's even banned from credit cards because the Jays run credit cards. So he doesn't have a credit card. They banned him off everything, bro. So yeah, you can't even say his name on YouTube. But yeah, Nick is up there, guys. Like, there's a lot of Russell Brand's up there. Steve Louder Crowder's up there, guys. So there's a lot of content on Rumble. So yeah, definitely, guys, make a Rumble account. Check everyone out, but definitely check us out. So on Rumble today, guys, we're gonna be going over the full breakdown of Mustache Man, guys. Mustache Man. We're going to be talking about that, guys. And then our feature story is going to be Donald Trump and J.D. Vance completely selling out to a foreign country. Doomed, bro. Doomed.
I agree.
Yeah, doomed, bro.
I just got one thing to say.
Yeah.
All right. So for any of you guys who saw our political videos before we took them down, you guys all know I love Donald Trump. He's an L. He's an L. I'm going to destroy him today on Rumble. He's an L.
Yeah, guys. So just to give you guys a preview, we are going to go insane on the Republican Party, on Fat Boy, on Trump.
JD Vance.
Yeah, JD Vance, Fat Boy. We are going to go insane on them, guys. So definitely give us a check out on Rumble. But other than that, guys, that's going to be the end of the show. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back to you guys on Friday. We're going to be covering some NFL, some NBA, going to give our takes on certain things. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, we'll see you guys on Friday, guys. So stay healthy, stay blessed, and have a good rest of your day.
Yep. Peace out, guys.